Will be coming up later on. I'll be joined by Reverend Maurice Ameda. Your feedback can start coming in. Our SMS line is 23993. Talk to us on our Facebook page, on EBN TV, as well as on Facebook, where this broadcast is live. So Morning Live begins right now. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Now, President William Ruto on Wednesday launched the 8th Devolution Conference in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. In his speech, the head of state reiterated that corruption shall be treated as a high-priority law enforcement issue requiring critical response regardless of status, so as to liberate devolution from corruption. He also revealed that the government has come up with digitization and automation of service delivery and project implementation to deal with poor governance. Our reporter Roifan Shikuku tells us more.
Speaking during the devolution conference in Uasin Gishu County, President William Ruto has affirmed that he intends to keep timely disbursement of funds to counties. The president also affirmed that the government will work with necessary stakeholders to ensure independence of county assemblies. About salaries and allowances, he said that he has requested Salaries and Remuneration Commission to provide a proper advisory to ensure public servants' earning reflects their work.
Support of taking devolution to its fullest extent. I thank the Council of Governors for the well-organized format of this conference, and I know the chair has mentioned two other things apart from what I have mentioned: the issue of making county assemblies truly independent and financially so. I think that is an aspiration, and that is a concept that I share, and we will work with the necessary stakeholders and institutions to make sure that the Senate provides the framework for the independence of our county assemblies so that they can have their independent votes. I know a matter has been also raised about salaries and allowances. That is a very difficult one, I must admit, because the balance is between increasing the salaries of those of us who have jobs or creating opportunities for the 4 or 5 million who do not have a job. That is the conversation we must have. So it is quite a balance, you agree. So hapo iko kizungumkuti kidogo na tutaongea. What I want to...
The head of state condemned the devolution of poor governance and urged anyone who may have embezzled funds for education in the Uasin Gishu scholarship saga to initiate refunds.
I expect the agencies concerned to move with speed and attend to the many cases of corruption that are festering in many counties, including Uasin Gishu County. It causes mayhem and chaos in the delivery of public service. And Kenyans across the board, from all political, from the entire political divide, want us to stand on the same side against corruption. I know they do. For this reason, we shall treat corruption at all levels of government as a high priority law enforcement issue requiring expeditious and decisive response. Regardless of position, office or status, any person...
The goal of devolution was to improve service delivery and to give local people more control over their own affairs. However, there have been challenges like weakness of human resource management systems in many counties and lack of coordination between the national and county assemblies. Therefore, the 8th Devolution Conference being held in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County will see governors, government officials, and other stakeholders discuss the challenges and opportunities of devolution. For EBN TV, I'm Roifan Shikuku.
Now, United States Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, has revealed that the U.S.-Kenya bilateral trade agreement is set to be concluded by the end of the year as a pace setter for Africa. Speaking at the Devolution Conference in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, Whitman said the bilateral trade agreement between Kenya and the U.S. will be one of its kind to be negotiated by the U.S. government. According to Whitman, the United States is highly interested in Kenya trade, investment, climate change.
Kenya is the most stable democracy in Africa. Kenya is the gateway to the East African market of almost 500 million consumers. Kenya is the regional logistics hub. Kenya is the leading regional financial hub, and Kenya, with its Silicon Savannah and super smart engineers, is the region's ICT hub. Kenya is a leading destination for foreign direct investment and venture capital, and Kenya has a young, educated, entrepreneurial, and English-speaking workforce. Kenya generates, as I said, over 93% of its energy from renewable sources, and Kenya's largest export market is the United States. Let me repeat, Kenya's largest export is the United States, and we feel Kenya is ready for liftoff as it diversifies. Why Africa? Why Kenya? And why your county? Why Garissa? Why Mombasa? Why Isiolo? Why Nakuru? Why any county in the country? You should be able to answer the question, why Africa? Why Kenya? And why your county? So to conclude, the United States and Kenya are open for business. And to quote President Ruto, Kenya means business. So we have work to do. We need to roll up our sleeves and deliver the results. The American people and your constituents deserve our best efforts to expand shared economic opportunity and growth.
All right, and perhaps one more on devolution to Wajir. As Kenya marks 10 years since the inception of devolution, Wajir County has recorded tremendous growth. According to Wajir County Governor Ahmed Abdullahi, every sector in his devolved unit has made great strides, with the health sector having reported great improvement.
Devolution has worked for everybody, not only for Wajir. It has worked everywhere, but particularly so for the peripheries, you know, the counties that were normally referred to as marginalized counties. So, and that was the intention. The intention of devolution was to take services closer to the people. It was to devolve some resources and some decision-making powers to the grassroots, so that the very critical basic services, you have a government that is closer to the people, that's able to intervene a lot more faster. It had about 82 or thereabout water wells, from what I remember. Not the shallow water wells, these are boreholes, because this county mostly depends on boreholes that we drill, mostly to depths of between 150 to give or take about 300.
I think a lot has improved in terms of services. The specialist services that have been done now in terms of radiology. We have CT scan also came as a result of devolution, that is also there right now. We also have renal services in terms of dialysis that is being done here in Wajir. Before devolution, we used to refer these patients to go to Garissa or Nairobi just to have the normal dialysis. The other
So we take a look at what the newspapers are reading this morning, similar issues to do with the Uasin Gishu botched scholarship funds, where, you know, over 1.1 billion shillings is missing, and students and parents paid for that money. But it seems money cannot be found. So where is the money? That is the question now. And who was responsible for it? And that is why you're looking at the headlines on the Daily Nation, the Standard and the Star, which are quite similar. So we'll kick it off with the Daily Nation. How cash was moved. Finland airlift saga bites Mandago. Probe exposes money trail. Now, according to the Nation, it has obtained documents showing how officials withdrew 203 million shillings for personal use from bank accounts into which parents had paid school fees for their children to study in Finland and Canada, and under a program run by the Uasin Gishu County Governor or during the reign of Jackson Mandago. 1.1 billion shillings is the amount state prosecutors allege suspects conspired to steal from overseas study program. So how the cash was moved. Now this is very interesting because this is a project that has been there for about 2 to 3 years. And now details have emerged that 4 key suspects in the case include Senator Jackson Mandago, Joseph Kipkemboi Maritim, Joshua Kipkemboi Lelei, and Meshach Rono, and the 4 of them have been implicated in the loss of funds in airlift program and are set to be charged. According to papers seen by Nation, one Meshach Rono in the period between June 21st to September 22nd of 2022, he withdrew about 15.7 million shillings with no particular cause, and 10.8 million shillings for visa for the particular students. So the question is not so much about what, or the 10.8 million shillings for the visa. The question is so much about 15.7 million shillings that he withdrew. What did he use the money for? Who gave the approval? Because basically, if there's a joint account at a particular bank, there always has to be minutes that are submitted so that the money can be withdrawn. And it's not just about Cynthia writing the minutes, but it's also about some of the key signatories within the bank to write the particular minutes to allow one person to withdraw this particular amount of money. So he withdrew 15.7 million shillings. Joseph Kipkemboi, the same period, he withdrew 8.6 million shillings. Joshua Kipkemboi, the other one was Joseph Kipkemboi, and now Joshua Kipkemboi, he withdrew 2.09 million shillings. Now, documents that were seen by the Nation show that between that particular period, over 203.9 million Kenyan shillings of the funds passed through individual accounts. In fact, at a particular point, one of the suspects withdrew 660,000 Kenyan shillings towards embassy travel. Embassy travel, this is, you know, if it is a state visit, then it should have been catered for by the county government, not through the university scholarship funds. So one of the suspects withdrew 660,000 Kenyan shillings towards embassy travel, and that is Kipkemboi, 8.6 million shillings, and a further 3.73 million shillings for process. Now we also have Meshach Rono, who handled over 15.7 million shillings through his accounts, transacted in cash, checks, and bank transfers, with a further 10.7 million shillings going towards the student's visa application. He made huge cash transactions of 1.5 million shillings in July of 2022 and 2.4 million shillings this year in January 2023. Now, the documents show Lele withdrew 2.096 million shillings via check and bank transfers, and his highest amount was a transfer of 414,000 shillings done last year in May. So what was the money for? That is the key question. If you're not going to withdraw this money to fund these particular students, their air tickets, their accommodation, their food, to go to Finland and study, so what did the money be used for? And those are some of the questions that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution is probing. Now, the DPP has recommended that apart from the fraud charges, Kipkemboi should separately face charges of stealing 660,000 Kenyan shillings from the account and forging minutes of the trust with the intent to defraud the trust. Now, Jackson Mandago, is facing abuse of office charges. He is alleged to have, while being the governor of the county, arbitrarily misrepresented that the county government was offering full scholarship to students to study in Finland and Canada. On Wednesday, as the county and national leaders attended the official opening of the devolution conference that was being presided over by President William Ruto, Mandago was to be in that particular meeting because he is the senator of Uasin Gishu County, the host county of the devolution conference, but he skipped the event and traveled all the way to Nakuru to present himself to the DCI officers for questioning. Now, Mandago, whom police had claimed had gone missing, switched off his phone, drove himself from Eldoret town to Nakuru to answer to those particular charges, and he remained in police custody following questioning. They are set to be arraigned in court today by DCI officers or by prosecutors. So it will be a question to see whether or not they will be out on bond, what will be the directions given by the court today as they are arraigned in court. On the other hand, President William Ruto has promised to step in and offer financial support to the affected students upon the completion of the ongoing investigations. He emphasized that his commitment to providing financial assistance will not shield those responsible for the scholarship scam. In fact, he says, and I quote, "I will not allow the suspects to get away with the crime. These actions are very embarrassing." And so that is just how cash was spent carelessly and not for the purpose that what was the cash for. And Jackson Mandago is the man at the center of it. So the other headlines as well, I'll be taking you through them also in just a bit. But still on the Daily Nation, Ruto warning on looting of public funds as the devolution conference marks 10th anniversary of counties. Opened yesterday in Nairobi. President William Ruto has challenged governors to stop wastage of public resources, vowing it will no longer be business as usual and the corrupt should be punished. So all matters to do with devolution conference, you can find that on page 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the Daily Nation. Also, you can see former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's picture on top of the page. An opposition leader is the guest speaker today on the second day of the devolution conference, where participants drawn from the public and private sector, as well as development agencies, are discussing transformation from the grassroots and how county governments can drive economic renaissance. So Raila Odinga is expected to address that gathering today, but also top of the page, lawyers to snitch on clients with dirty cash in politics. Members of parliament seal over approval for Ruto-Raila talks. New tax proposals for state contracts, as well as push for 4-day public holiday on weekends. Kenyans could have a 4-day weekends when public holidays fall on Tuesdays or Thursdays if a new bill before the Senate becomes law. Quite interesting that. Now to the Standard, Ruto throws Mandago bus over scam. Ruto throws Mandago under the bus over scam. A tough-talking president sends a twin warning to culprits of botched 1.1 billion shillings Finland program and the corrupt who misuse public resources that they will face the music. Jackson Mandago, Uasin Gishu Senator, is currently at the Nakuru Central Police Station where he spent the night. 1.1 billion shillings is the money in question, like I've said. About 180 witnesses have been lined up by the DPP to testify against the four. This includes perhaps parents, as well as students who are set to benefit from that particular fund. 11 people have been charged. That includes Mandago, Joseph Maritim, Meshak Rono, and Joshua Lele. 56.5 million shillings, the amount that Martin Rono and Lele are accused of stealing from a KCB bank in Eldoret branch account between June of 2021 and September 12th of 2022. That is a story that is on page 2 and 6 of the Standard this morning. Quite the same details largely of just who was at the center of it, how did this money get stolen, who withdrew what amount of money, was it for this purpose that it was meant for, or was it some side purpose or for personal reasons, even as President William Ruto talks stuff and says, no one will be spared, and he has also pledged to support the students and parents that were affected by that particular, we can call it a scam, particular scam of education university funding. Devolution, US envoys wows with investment pitch. devolution, US envoy wows with investment pitch. That is Ambassador Meg Whitman wows delegates to the 10th Devolution Conference with her presentation highlighting US-Kenya trade opportunities and how counties can benefit. That was day one. Deputy President leads talks onslaught amid Mount Kenya fears, while some leaders have openly expressed their reservations on Azimio Kenya Kwanza talks. Others silently fear for the region's interest, politically speaking. That is a story that is on page 4. DP leads talks onslaught amid Mount Kenya fears that, it could be another round of handshake. And then what happens to this particular bride of Mount Kenya region? As well as man loses 2.3 million shillings property in tussle over child upkeep. How DNA from hair shaver gave away terrorists. Those are stories that are on the Standard. Now finally to the Star. Ghost of Finland scam returns to haunt Mandago. DPP approves charges against Senator and 3 other former county officials. President disowns allies, says those who are involved in the corruption case to carry their own cross. Jackson Mandago, a man that is very much at the center of it, being the former county governor, as well as, basically the implementer of that particular initiative. Well, he says, at the moment he handed the reins of power to Jonathan B., who is the current governor, but it's largely to do with this particular amount of money that was withdrawn during that period that he was the county.
Watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
Through the morning rush and the buzz, find the voice you can trust, a voice of reason, a voice of direction, and a voice of hope.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Live. I'm Cynthia Nanjala.
And I'm Samia Dika. Rise and shine, folks. We hope you are ready for an energizing start to your day.
Absolutely. We are here to bring you the latest headlines and trending news stories from the world of politics,
business and finance, health and lifestyle,
agriculture and sports.
So grab your coffee, sit back and get ready for a fantastic morning of engaging discussions and news segments.
Join us through our social media handles, #The Morning Live. This is Morning Live, exclusively on EBN TV.
In a fast-paced world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your relationship with God. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we take you on a transformative journey of building your faith, without which it's impossible to please God. A journey of introspection and discovery of who you are in Christ Jesus.
For you to walk with God, you should not crumble when you come under pressure. Kama umeokoka, sema umeokoka mpaka mbele ya president, mpaka mbele ya chief justice, mpaka mbele ya kila mtu. Hiyo ndio kuokoka ya ukweli. Kuokoka ya ukweli.
Enjoy a faith-filled environment of worship and ministry of the Word every Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 a.m. with Reverend Felix Kevoy, exclusively on EBN TV.
That is the word of the Lord today.
The International Faith Summit.
The International Faith Summit.
The International Faith Summit. The International Faith Summit 2023.
The International Faith Summit.
Hi, I'm Jody Dandeti.
My name is Pastor Crispus Masangu.
My name is Nanjala Kitondo. I attended the previous
Faith Summit here at Blessed Hope Center,
and I can testify that my faith was built and made better.
And it really blessed me. It changed my life.
And I was blessed. I was so much blessed.
I like the way ministers of God prepare themselves, the way every department was ministered upon.
I invite you to this year's International Faith Summit.
This year we'll be hosting it bigger and better.
It will be bigger, and we are having great preachers from within Kenya and from abroad, from the US, from the South African part, from many areas. And I believe it will be a blessing to you too.
Wherever you are, we welcome you in the name of Jesus.
And I'm looking forward for this year International Faith Summit to lift my life to other level.
Invite your friends,
ministers of God, men and women,
and your relatives.
I hope you'll be present.
Come, and your life will not be the same again.
Your life will never be the same again.
It will be from the 14th to 18th
of August 2023.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
One would ask, who is God of the Bible? Where did the world come from? Is man basically good? What is the hope of man after this life? Is Jesus God? What does the Bible really say about Christianity? How did God come to exist? Is the Bible really the Word of God? This and many other questions on religion need answers. Join teachers of the Word and theologians every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. on the program Bible Theology Show, where all your questions will be answered, only on EBN TV.